Good afternoon, it's Seth at Houghton Lodge. Something a little bit different today. It's absolutely chucking it down here again. So my missus thinks we're silly looking at a bucket, but anyway, we'll try this. What I've done is I've put a clear bucket of river water on a table, looking up at the sky, and we're going to see what sort of flies we can see. That is the iron blue, little and black iron blue. So depth of about 6 inches. This looking upwards. It's an underwater camera, looking up to see what sort of thing we can see with flies, what colours we can see, and what the line is as well. That's a monofilament 4-pound line that I've tied these onto. Don't recommend going any less than that. There's some lumps of fish in this river, so you want something that's going to be able to hang on to them. So that was the iron blue that we tried. Coming up next is the blue-winged olive. Hatching our emerging blue-winged olive. Once again on 4-pound line. You can see it's a little bit different. Bit of a tail on it. See the hook quite clearly. I tried to simulate the depth of a fish that would be rising to these flies about 6 or 8 inches down in the river. Done the blue-winged olive. Now it's a little red sedge that I'm going to try. Once again, you'll see my hand dangling above it. It shows how much these fish can see through this water. But this is with no current, of course. This is just still clear water. That's the little red sedge. That will be a caddis or something of that nature. And you can see that one's wings are quite clearly on there. And then I have done the orange quill to see if we could see the bit of colour. So, dangling in the orange quill. There he is. And I can just make out a little bit of colour on that, so we can see that does make a difference. There you go. And then on to the bigger stuff next, when I find it. This is the French partridge mayfly coming up. Now we can see a lot of difference with that. We can see the shape, we can see the little green tinges in it, and obviously see its tail. So this is a clear bucket of water, this is river water. And then, last of all, we go on to the daddy longlegs to see how much difference that looks. These are the same flies that I showed you when I did the fly with the choice of fly thing earlier on. These are the exact same 6 flies. So coming up, daddy longlegs. I've obviously lost it, there he is. So we can see that a lot different. We can see his legs, see the shape of the fly is completely different to the mayfly. That's what it looks like when it lands on the water. There you go. And then all together we've got the iron blue, the emerging blue-winged olive, little red sedge and the orange quill, all in a bundle, so we can see if we can see any difference in sizes of those or colours or anything like that. I'm just fiddling about getting them together. It is raining, that's what the disturbance is on the top of the bucket. So here we come, 4 flies all together, see if we can see any difference. Here we go, so that's those 4 flies there. Trying to separate them a little bit. The orange quill decided to sink because I forgot my floatant at this point. But you can see a little bit of difference in those shapes and a little bit of colour difference in those flies as well, just subtly, it's just enough. And then put together again at the end, put together the daddy and the French partridge mayfly to see the difference in those two. But once again, these are all tied on the same line thickness as well, so you can see what 4-pound line looks like from about 6 or 8 inches down in the river. Clear bucket, load of people watching an empty bucket, look at that, fascinating. Never thought you'd see this. Here we go. Daddy and French partridge mayfly. See a big difference in those two, and you can just see the subtle differences in colour. Both together. There you go. That's a bucket full of water and some feathers for today's entertainment. Thank you.